Hi there and welcome to the channel. Now, about 6 months ago, I did a video where I reviewed the Snoozeband Deluxe, which I have here, and I want to tell you whether this has been collecting dust in a drawer somewhere or whether it's been my regular nighttime saviour. So stick around as I give you a 6-month update on the Snoozeband. Let's go. So let's get to the quick of it, shall we? So if you're not looking to stick around for the whole review, although I would appreciate it if you did, I will say that this has been with me for every night since I've had it for the past 6 months. It hasn't been collecting dust, it hasn't been stuffed into a drawer somewhere, and I don't regret purchasing it. I think it's helped me a lot in terms of my sleep. It's been really good for times when you just need a little bit of kind of desensitization. You know, when we get quite overstimulated sometimes, it's good just to be able to kind of relax. Even if you're not having an actual sleep, if you just want a nap or you just want to rest, you know, this is a great way to block out the light and the sound and just have that moment of time out, if you like. So it's not a perfect product, and I will talk about some of the issues that have come up for me and some of the things that I find a bit irritating about it, but that haven't been enough to completely put me off using the item. But it's just things that you might want to consider and be aware of. So let's get started with the pros. Okay, so I've had it for 6 months now and it's still holding up well. I know in my last video someone mentioned that their Velcro had come apart, and that was a bit of an issue for them. What I tended to find is that once I'd got the head size correct, I didn't really need to rip it open and keep applying it. I could just kind of sort of tweak it a little bit, and it didn't really need too much. So I think the Velcro should last quite well. It still feels very strong and sturdy. It feels as good as it did when I first got it. It's, you know, super soft to the touch, and yeah, it's very, very comfortable to wear. So, you know, comfort wise, generally, it is very nice to wear, very soft, you know, feels premium, and that's really good. Now, just a slight drawback, I suppose, if I just sort of flip it around here where my two fingers are tapping is where the little thin headphone speakers are, or the little speakers that you listen to white noise and things like that. Now, the challenge that I have, and I still have after 6 months, is that they will move around. Not a lot, but over the course of, say, a week of wearing this, you're going to find that they're gradually going to start moving out of place, and you're going to need to get them back into position. And they're not very easy to access without actually opening up everything. You know, you've got a little zip compartment here, and unless you're going to regularly kind of dig in and feel around and move them around, what I've tended to do is I've just kind of used my finger to shift it around on the outside. I've just kind of like sort of just slightly moved it and got it into position, but it's not really ideal, and it takes a bit of time to get it just into that sweet spot again. So that's a bit of a faff, and that's something you've got to just be aware of, that the speakers aren't going to stay in place permanently. You know, they can move, so you might have to just sort of do a bit of tweaking there to get it into the ideal position. In terms of the ideal sleeping position, I still sometimes find it difficult to get the speaker comfortably in line with my ear so that it doesn't, you know, hurt. And it's not so much that it does hurt, but again, it's not like an instant comfort. You have to kind of just adjust it slightly to get it how you want it. So that's you've got to kind of persevere a little bit when it comes to the actual comfort levels. But once you kind of got it and you're settled and you're happy with how it feels, then, you know, you're good to go. One of the other positives I would say is that the actual speakers themselves are good quality. They are very, very good at blocking the sound. And I know someone asked if they are very loud. They are loud. I mean, I don't have them that loud, but there is definitely scope to have it quite loud. Now, whether it would block out a partner's snoring, I don't know. It depends how loud your partner snores, I suppose. But I'm confident that it would do a pretty good job, if I'm honest. So I don't have a problem with a snoring partner, but I do have issues sometimes with noise outside, or sometimes the neighbours can be a little bit noisy. Or just, you know, just general noise sometimes that I want to just kind of shut out. So it definitely will do that. It comes with quite a few sounds, from running water to rain, bird song. all of the usual, white noise, brown noise, all of that, all of those nice sounds. Now, I generally opted to use rain and the kind of the white noise sound, which I kind of found the most pleasing. Birdsong I didn't really like. It was too chirpy and it was hard to kind of ignore it. But of course, everyone's going to have a preference, aren't they, as to what sounds they prefer. The good news is it's Bluetooth compatible, so you can hook it up to your phone or Bluetooth device and just play sounds from there. So sometimes I'll go onto YouTube and I'll search up some different sounds, or maybe there's some particular sounds on YouTube or channels you like that do particularly good sleeping sounds, and then you can just use your phone. Now, obviously, granted, you're going to have your phone on throughout the night, playing it. So you have to consider things like, keeping your phone safe so it's not going to get too hot, and, just the practical things that you have to just be aware of. But it works, it works really well. The other thing that I found a little bit frustrating, and I kind of still do now, even after 6 months, is the buttons are not all that intuitive. You've got 3 buttons here, essentially, and they have to function as an on and off button, as a volume button, changing a sound button, setting timers button, and all of these 3 buttons have to kind of function all of those different things, and you have to kind of get used to the sequence in which you press them, and you have to get used to how to do it. And you're probably going to need the manual, and you're probably going to need to sit down and just kind of tinker with it. I still don't intuitively know. Sometimes I make mistakes and I accidentally put the timer on when I'm trying to like change the sound or something. It's one of those things. It's whether you can live with the fact that sometimes it's a bit frustrating. I suppose if you're super organized, you could maybe have like a little piece of paper on your bedside table, perhaps with the instructions, just like a breakdown of what to press if you want to kind of get it done quickly. Because I've had it a few times at night where I've been ready to sleep and then I've put it on and I've got myself started, and then I've kind of forgotten what I was meant to do, and then I've had to turn the light back on, and I've had to, and it's sort of doesn't kind of set you off on the right track. But those are things that, obviously can be sorted. And I think besides that, if you can kind of get over those little issues, then it's great. It's very soft, it's very comfortable, it's very breathable, the sound quality is really good. It's really helped. It really does block out the light very well, much better than any other sleep mask that I've ever used. It really does close out the light fully. The sound is going to block out pretty much most noise. You could use it if you were traveling, say, on a plane, or you were on a long journey somewhere, and you kind of, I know some people who perhaps feel a bit motion sickness when they're in the car, and perhaps this would be good if you're in the car and you want to kind of just block out the journey. You can put this on. If you're on a long flight, perhaps you're a musician and you're touring or you're gigging and you want to kind of just a bit of peace and quiet before you go on and start playing, then this would obviously be good as well. The box it comes in, you could keep it. It does come with like a little carry case as well, so it's very easy to store and take with you. So I thought I'd just give an update, because I've noticed that quite a few people have been watching my original review from some time ago, and I thought, well, actually a lot of time's gone by and I haven't really updated you on how it's gone. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit of an update, and if you're intending to purchase it, then I hope that this follow-up review and the original, which I'll link in this video, is beneficial and helpful for you. Anyway, please do leave a comment. As I said, this is a music channel, but as a musician, my ears and my sense of peace is very important, hence why I did a review on this particular item. Anyway, thanks a lot. Please do hit subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.